Hello everyone, this is Suvendu, your physics mentor, and welcome to our part 4 of our chapter Scalars and Vector. And in part 3, we have discussed our triangle law of vector addition as well as our parallelogram law of vector addition and how we can find the magnitude of this resultant vector and the direction of resultant vector with respect to any one of the vector. Okay, so that part already we have covered. In this session, we will discuss the numericals related to that content only. Yes. So without any delay, let's start our topic. So our question is, girl moves 3 meters towards the east and then she takes 90-degree left turn and moves 4 meters north. So as per the question, let's draw this diagram. Now a girl moves 3 meters towards east. 3 meters towards east means we can show it in this way. A girl moves 3 meters towards east and then she takes 90-degree left turn, moves 4 meters towards north. So 90-degree left turn के बाद 4 meters towards north. So if you will indicate this thing like our east, this is your west, this is north, this is south. This is 3 meters towards east and 4 meters towards. I think it is clear. So find the displacement of the girl, and in each and every case, here as displacement is a vector quantity, so here magnitude of displacement is written in each and every option and direction of displacement is also written. So magnitude of displacement means the shortest distance between initial and final position. So this distance, this one is initial, this is final. ये होगा हमारा. So this will be the displacement. So what is the magnitude of displacement S vector? Right angle triangle दिखाई दे रहा है. So magnitude of displacement क्या होगा? S vector mod, that is equal to 3 square plus 4 square root over, that is 5 square root over, that is 5 meter. I think there is no doubt. Okay. So this is our magnitude of displacement, and in each and every option 5 meter is written. Now see what is the direction. Direction कैसे पता चलेगा? अच्छा, ये दिखाई दे रहा है तुम्हारा, this is our S vector. This is your S vector. In this figure, let us mark it as theta. तो tan theta कितना होगा देखो. तो tan theta is equal to 4/3. 4/3. But मोड ट्रायंगल पढ़े दिए 3, 4, 5 ट्रायंगल. ये ट्रायंगल को मन रखिया पड़िबा हमको. What is the content behind this 3, 4, 5 triangle? Now see, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So 3 रो जो front triangle अछि ताको हमें रिप्रेजेंट करिया 37 डिग्री, 4 रो front facing angle 53 डिग्री. So if it is written 4/3, तो tan 37 कितना होगा? 3/4. and tan 53 कितना होगा? 4/3. So 4/3 means tan 53 degree. Finally, we came to know theta is equal to 53 degree. So in figure, this is our 53 degree. हमें ईस्ट और एक्स एक्सिस पर रहेगी. The anti-clockwise 53 degree towards north. East to button towards north को हमें resultant को meet करेगा. That means S vector को meet करेगा. और if this is 53, so this will be 37 degree. So displacement or direction कौन होगा हमारा? Displacement S vector, we can write it as 5 meter 53 degree. It कुआडे जाउछे? Towards north from east. From को हमें लिखिबा up. Okay. In previous lecture we have already discussed this thing. Or we can write it as 5 meter 37 degree towards east from north. So 5 meter 37 degree east of north. So this is mentioned in option. So this is our correct answer. I think it is clear. Very good. Next come to our second question. Vector A has magnitude of 10 units and points due west, while vector B has the same magnitude and points due south. Again, we have to draw this type of diagram, the direction. After this figure, you can easily discuss. This is east, west, north, south, and this is your origin. So look at the figure. A vector has a magnitude of 10 units and point due west. Magnitude 10 units, point due west. This vector has magnitude 10 units, point due. Ready? And vector B has the same magnitude. Let it is A vector. This is A vector mode. Very good. 10 units. And B vector has magnitude, same magnitude, that is 10 unit, point due south. This is your B vector. B vector magnitude is also 10 units. So what the question is asking? Specify the, find the magnitude of A vector plus B vector and A vector minus B vector. Specify the directions relative to west. With respect to west, we have to show the direction. First, we have to calculate A vector plus B vector. देखो, so to add the two vectors, they are having common tail point. Base करके हम कौन करेगा? Now we have to consider a parallelogram, considering these two vectors as the two adjacent sides of parallelogram. Then diagonal starting from their common tail point gives their resultant vector R vector. So here R vector meaning कौन? In this figure, R vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. Clear? So R vector magnitude कितना होगा? R vector magnitude is equal to, angle between them is theta is equal to 90 degree. So R vector mode, R vector magnitude is A square plus B square root over. Because we know when two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, then their resultant magnitude is A square plus B square root over. So A square plus B square root over means that is 10 square plus 10 square root over. That is our 2 times of 10 square root over. This is equal to 10 root 2 units. 10 root 2 units. And what is the direction of resultant vector with respect to west? Direction of resultant vector with respect to west means we have to show this direction. The angle कितना होगा देखो? अच्छा, simple tan beta is equal to y by x और tan beta equal to कितना थिला हमरो? एटी हम बाहर करबा देखो. This is your b vector, this is your b, this is a. So tan beta is equal to b by a. Same variable देखो, दीटा का magnitude same अछि. Both vectors are having same magnitude. The angle by set करके जीवा. This will be 45 degree. Otherwise, if we formula put करिबा, previous formula हमर कोन थिला? Tan beta is equal to b by, that is 10 by 10, that is your 1. 1 means tan 45 degree. Beta केता आसिला? Beta equal to 45 degree. तो मते बर्तन आंसर लिखियो जदि पड़ियो, if you will wish to write the answer of A vector plus B vector, then the answer is 10 root 2 units, direction 45 degree towards the south from west. Towards the south from west, south of west. This is the answer of this first bit question. Then second bit देखो कौन पचारुछु. What the second bit is asking? Bit number 2. Find the magnitude and direction of A vector minus B vector. अच्छा, A vector minus B vector means A vector हमर के थिला देखो towards west. This is our A vector. Magnitude 10 units. And this is the B vector. And this one is our B vector. And B vector magnitude kete? This is also 10 units. But we have to add A vector minus B vector is asking, and it can be written A vector plus minus B vector. Clear? Minus B vector means same magnitude but opposite direction. So this B vector is acting towards south, minus vector will be towards north. This will be our minus B vector, whose magnitude is also 10 units. Now देखो A vector minus B vector both are having same common tail point. एमानंकु बेस करके हम कोन करिबा, we have to draw a parallelogram. हम एमानंकु बेस करके ଗୋଟେ parallelogram draw करिबा. Then diagonal starting from their common tail point gives their resultant vector. This is your R vector. So in figure, R vector gives us A vector plus minus B vector. What is R vector magnitude? As these two vectors are perpendicular to each other, A vector mod square plus second vector mod square root over. This is also 10 square plus 10 square root over. That is 10 root 2 units. And same as the previous question, if you will draw the, sorry, if you will want to find the direction, then beta kete asibo? Beta will be equal to, with respect to west, beta is will be 45 degree. Same thing, 45 degree. So resultant vector R vector equal to A vector minus B vector, that is equal to 10 root 2 units. 10 root 2 units, 45 degree towards north from west. Towards north from west. So this is the way in which we have to solve the question. I think this question is fully clear to all of you. This is your bit B and this is bit A. Question clear hai bola? Next. Question number 3. So two forces each of magnitude 10 Newton act at a point as in figure. Find the resultant. Angle between two vector kete achi? 60 degree. Theta 60 degree. That means A vector magnitude is 10 Newton. Also B vector magnitude kete naba? 10 Newton. And theta angle between two vector is 60 degree. Resultant देखिवा, R is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta square root, that is equal to 10 square plus 10 square plus 2 into 10 into 10 cos 60 degree square root, and cos 60 into 2 kete 1 cos 60 1 by 2 into 2 1 hai gala. Eta kete hela tale 10 square, so 3 times of 10 square root over, that is 10 root 3 Newton. This is the magnitude. And how to calculate the direction? In order to find the direction, tan beta is equal to formula B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. Now figure में यहाँ पे पढ़ने थे theory paper रे A vector and it is our B vector. तो जो बीटा में पाएगा ना, that is with respect to A vector, मन रखिए. Clear? So B sin theta means 10 sin 60 degree divided by 10 plus 10 cos 60. 10 into sin 60 root 3 by 2 divided by 10 plus 10 into 1 by 2. Is that clear? Okay, that's the answer. So 5 root 3 divided by 15. Then this will be 1 by root 3. And 1 by root 3 means this is tan 30 degree. So tan beta tan 30. So what is beta? 30 degree. So with respect to A vector, option कोड मैच कर देखो, magnitude 10 root 3 and A vector का तो मैच कर देखो, A vector is along horizontal. तो हमें लिखिबा 10 root 3 30 degree with respect to horizontal. 10 root 3 30 degree with respect to horizontal. तो जो theory paper रे हम पढ़िथिले जो main diagram, based upon that diagram you have to answer. So part 3, that is fully important. Okay. Next you can easily understand the part 4 lecture. Okay, so this is about our question number 3. Next, come to our next question. Two forces whose magnitude are in the ratio 3:5. Two forces whose magnitude are in the ratio 3:5 give resultant of 28 Newton. Okay, so resultant is mentioned, that is 28 Newton. Let F1 is equal to 3x and F2 is equal to 5x. Ratio 3:5 होगी ना. So if the angle of their inclination is 60 degree, theta is mentioned 60 degree. Find the magnitude of each force. F1 is required and F2 is required. So how to solve? We know R is equal to F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta square root. So both sides squaring कर देंगे R square है. We can write 28 into 28 is equal to F1 square means that is 3x whole square plus 5x whole square, then plus 2 into 3x into 5x cos, I think it is clear. या कोई मुझे r square रखी था किसी असुविधा नहीं, it is r square. So r square is equal to 9x square plus 25x square plus 2 into 15x square into cos 61 by 2. Then this is r square equal to 25 plus 5 is 30, 40, 49x square. 49x square. So what is r? R is equal to 7x. R is equal to how much? 7x. What is r value? R is our 28. Is that clear? So 28 is equal to 7x. X is how much? 4. X is equal to 4. So thus F1 केते हमरो? F1 है 3x, F2 is 5x. So 3 into 4, that is 12 Newton, and 5 into 4, that is 20 Newton. This is the respective value of F1 and F2, corresponding value of F1 and F2 as per the given question. I think it is clear. Also देखी दियो. Easy is the content. Next. Question is, if A vector plus B vector mod equal to A vector mod plus B vector mod. अच्छा, A vector plus B vector mod. Given this हमको this is equal to A vector mod plus B vector mod. ये क्वेश्चन को हमें ठीक से ऑब्जर्व करिबा. अच्छा, instead of this thing, अच्छा, instead of A vector plus B vector, these are component vectors. That means दोनों का एडिशन क्या देगा हमको? R vector mod. पहला कहते हैं A vector mod is A plus B vector mod is B. That means we can say R is equal to A plus B. अच्छा, R is equal to A plus B है, that means theta कहते हुए 0 degree. Theory. Part 3 note pointer थिला हमर. R is equal to A plus B. That is the maximum value of the resultant. This is possible when two vectors are acting along same direction. I think the answer of the given question is very clear to all of you. Next देखो, same type of question देला एठी. Same type question. कौन कहला? A vector plus B vector mod. A vector plus B vector mod is equal to A vector mod minus B vector mod. तार कौन देला? Whole mod. So instead of these component vectors, we can write resultant vector R vector. Then mod equal to A vector mod is A minus B vector mod is B. Then whole mod is written. That means R is mentioned equal to A minus B magnitude, and this is possible when theta is equal to 180 degree. Note pointer थिला हमर. Yes, देखो A difference B magnitude, A difference B रो magnitude रहया दरकार. तो यही होची. Next question. The question is, which of the following forces will never give resultant force of 2 Newton? Will never give resultant force of 2 Newton. So, को दिटा force रो जो pairing forces देइछ सब 2 Newton 2 Newton 1 Newton 1 Newton को माने थ्रू 2 Newton resultant दबार chance है. It's simple question. This is 1 mark question actually. We know the range of the resultant is R maximum and it is greater than or equal to R minimum. That means the range of resultant vector is less than equal to A plus B and it is greater than equal to A difference B magnitude. A difference B magnitude. Okay. So in first option हम देखिबा in option A. ताले R range टा केते हमर resultant range 2 Newton जे है ना, it is less than or equal to 2 plus 2 and it is greater than or equal to 2 minus 2 more. So means R is less than or equal to 4, greater than or equal to 0. And 0 है परिबो 4 है परिबो, otherwise 0 and 4 भितर किछि गोटे नंबर अछि ना. So 2 Newton 0 and 4 भितर 2 Newton. What will never give the resultant. This gives us the resultant. अच्छा, in case of B, range of resultant केते 1 and 1 जाई less than equal to 1 plus 1 greater than or equals to 1 minus 1. देखो 0 and 2 may be possible. 0 पे होबो, otherwise 2 पे होबो, or otherwise 0 and 2 भितर किछि गोटे value. So 2 is there. So this will give us the 2 Newton resultant. 1 Newton 3 Newton. So resultant will be less than equal to 1 plus 3, that is 4. And 1 minus 3 magnitude, that is, yes, this can give us the 2 Newton resultant. Okay. And option D, resultant is less than equal to 1 plus 4, that is 5. And greater than equal to 1 minus 4 magnitude, that is 3. So including 3 and 4 or any number between 3 and 4. In between 3 and 4. So see 2 aslani. So 2 is not present in option number 4. So this is the answer. This pair will never give the resultant of 2 Newton. I think this question is fully clear. Next, come to our next question. The maximum and minimum value of the resultant of two given vectors. Let two given vectors are A vector and B vector. Clear? So R max mentioned kete dela. R max means that is A plus B. It is mentioned 17. R minimum kete, that is A difference B or A minus B. That is given 7. So if these two vectors are at right angles to each other, find the magnitude of the resultant. Find the dita vector kon achandi. These two vectors are perpendicular to each other. As per the given question, these two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, A vector and B vector. So this is the parallelogram, diagonal starting from the common tail point. This is the resultant vector. So R magnitude is how much? Square plus B square root over. First we have to find the value of A and B. So adding these two, we will get 2A is equal to 24. That means A is equal to 12. And A is equal to 12 means, which implies B kete asibo 17 minus A. That means 17 minus 12 means B is equal to 5. B is equal to 5. And so this is 12 square plus 5 square over. That is equal to 13 square root over, that is 13. Pythagorean triplet हम जानिए. Pythagorean triplet कौन सा बोलते? 3, 4, 5, then 7, 24, 25, 5, 12, 13, etc. Clear? So this is about the answer of this question. Both easy question thila. This is one of the best 2 marks question actually. बहुत भलो 2 marks question हमर हे परिबो. I think this question is fully clear to all of you. Yes. Next चलिए देखो next question तक आसिबा. Question ठीक से हमें पढ़िया बोल से. The sum of two forces acting at a point, the sum of two forces, देखो, the sum of two forces acting at a point is 18 and the magnitude of the resultant is 12. So 18 means two forces, let it be A and B. So given A plus B is equal to 18. So this is the given data and the magnitude of the resultant is 12. Okay. So if the resultant is at 90 degree with the force of smaller magnitude, हम तो जानते ना which one is the smaller magnitude force. Let A is the smaller magnitude force. So as for the question, let this is your A vector having smaller magnitude. Yes, and this is your A vector. And resultant makes 90 degree with force of smaller magnitude. This is our resultant vector. One is the resultant vector. अच्छा, resultant vector is the what? It is the resultant vector is formed due to the addition of component vectors. Component vector के A vector and B vector. अच्छा, A vector जो दिया है एठी देइछि two forces A vector and B vector हम नहीं assume करछे. So which one will be the B vector? जदि तमरो B vector अच्छा resultant देखो केमति आसीबो. एइटा को हम जदि कंसीडर करिया B vector, then हमें पाइबा जे this is our resultant vector. देखो true or false, now all of you check. ए दुटा वेक्टर को बेस करके हमें कोन करिबा, ଗୋଟେ parallelogram draw करिबा. Clear? Now diagonal starting from their common tail point gives the resultant vector. अच्छा, this is our B vector हमें कहि देले, and this is mentioned 90 degree. Okay, so question है what are the magnitude of forces? Okay, what are the magnitude of forces? That is individual value पचारुछि A and B रो individual value. So how can we calculate? In case of parallelogram, if this is your B vector, this will be the B vector also. Is that clear to all of you? Vector can be shifted parallel to itself. So A vector भी कहते हैं B vector. नहीं magnitude wise यदि मैं triangle टा को draw करीबी, मैं triangle को again draw करूँगी. Now let's have a look. A triangle को देखो. A triangle, this is the R, this is 90 degree, and it is your B, and this is your A. हम कौन लिख पारिबा? What is the value of B square? Tell. B square is equal to what? R square plus S square, no? As per Pythagoras theorem. So B square is equal to R square plus S square. So as B square is equal to R square plus S square, so R square is how much? B square minus A square. And B square minus A square is what? B minus A into B plus A. Very good. And we know R is mentioned 12. So write it as 12 equal to B minus A into what is B plus A? It is 18. It is 18. Is that clear to all of you? R is equal to 12 is given na. So B minus A केते होला हमर? कोई मिस्टेक है लगी. देखो, let's verify this thing. Again, all of you please verify. This is your B square equal to R square plus S square. So R square केते होबो? B square minus S square. And R is equal to केते देला? Magnitude of the resultant is 12. Okay. Magnitude of the resultant is 12. If the resultant is at 90 degree with the force of smaller magnitude, yes, resultant is at 90 degree with force of smaller magnitude, then R is equal to R square equal to B square minus S square. That means R equal to B minus A into B plus A. ठीक अच्छी पार्ट टा. तापर हम लिखली B minus A into A plus B तो given अच्छे 18 ना. मिस्टेक कोड होची. A minus B तो given अच्छे 18. ओहो, एडी मिस्टेक है जाई रुआ सॉरी ए लाइन टा ठीक 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 so r square not r equal to r square is equal to b minus a into b plus a perfect so r square is how much this is 12 12 whole square कितना है 144 equal to b minus a into 18 so what is b minus a 144 by 18 that is 8 तो हमको b minus a मिलेगा क्लियर b minus a हमको मिलेगा तो एतिया पर हमें कौन करिवा a plus b is mentioned and अच्छा a plus b means b plus a b plus a is equal to 18 and b minus a is equal to 8 addition to b is equal to कितना असला 26 so b is equal to how much b is equal to 13 newton clear thus a कितना आसीबो 18 minus b so 18 minus 13 that is 5 newton so what are the magnitude of two forces कितना आसला one is your 13 5 what is 13 and 5 newton this one is the answer clear 8 रहे वाला मिस्टेक है वाला r square equal to b square minus a square so r square equal to b minus a into b plus a I think it is clear to all of you देखिए जाए क्वेश्चन को again so as per the given data you have to draw the diagram otherwise you can't solve a diagram is बहुत important how to draw the diagram according to the language that is available in our question paper next thing question is the resultant of two vectors resultant of two vectors a vector and b vector is perpendicular to the vector a vector and its magnitude is equal to the half of the magnitude of vector b the resultant of two vector a vector and b vector is perpendicular to a vector same whenever let this is a vector let this is your a vector just think this is your a vector and a and b का resultant that is perpendicular to a vector तो a vector and b vector का resultant क्या होगा देखो এটা suppose resultant clear is suppose the resultant vector of a vector and b vector and its magnitude is equal to half of the magnitude of vector b that means r given कौन दीची given r is equal to b by 2 half of the magnitude of b find out the angle between a and b a vector and b vector अच्छा ये जो angle sorry this is right 90 degree if this is your r vector ताले एबे हम just draw करथिले how to draw the figure how to draw it as per the b vector केमते हो देखो देखो this is your b vector जना पड़ला a vector और b vector कौन देखा वाला बट parallelogram by considering this is b vector then draw a parallelogram then diagonal starting from their common tail point gives the resultant vector okay so if this is b vector this is also b vector eta bi amar kono asibo this will be also b vector this will be also b vector asa question pacharla find the angle between a vector and b vector देखो a vector का जदि हम parallel shift करी बैठी clear so this is a vector and this is b vector this will be the angle theta this will be angle theta angle between two vectors ready हमको दरकार केमते हम ड्रा करिबा now consider this right angle केमते हम फाइंड करा देखो consider this right angle so in this right angle if you will see this is r this is let it be alpha this angle and this is a this is b and r is mentioned b by 2 r is mentioned b by 2 so what is sin alpha in this case what is the value of sin alpha will be equal to sin alpha is equal to b by h r by b तो r is equal to b by 2 by b केते आसला 1 by 2 that means sin alpha is equal to 1 by 2 means sin 30 degree. That means alpha is equal to how much? 30 degree. But this is not our answer. If alpha is 30 degree, the total angle kete 180. So what is theta? Theta is the angle between two vectors. Thus, theta is equal to 180 minus alpha. 180 degree minus 30 degree. That is equal to 150 degree. 150 degree. This is our correct answer as per the given question. Clear? So how to solve the question? You come to know this. Next question. Out of 3, 5, 8, 11, 13, 17, which cannot be the resultant of two vectors of magnitude 5 and 9? So, resultant R is less than or equal to R max, is greater than or equal to R minimum. So if you will say one is 5 and another one is 9, so R is less than or equal to 5 plus 9 and is greater than or equal to 5 minus 9 magnitude. So R is less than or equal to 14, greater than or equal to 4. So 4 भी होगा आंसर, 14 भी परिबो, अदरवाइज 4 and 14 भितर किछि गोटे नंबर देखो तो 4 होबो आ कोन होबो 14 भी होबो 4 तो नहीं 14 नहीं 4 and 14 भितर एनी नंबर होबो 4 and 14 भितर एनी नंबर. So which cannot be the resultant of two vectors of magnitude, that is 3 and 17. So our answer is 3 and 17. They cannot be the resultant of the what 5 and 9 anymore. This is the answer of the given question. So this is about the numericals related to our addition of vectors, that is our under triangle law of vector addition. Another one is parallelogram law of vector addition. So next is our polygon law of vector addition. See, next content is our polygon law of vector addition. Here we can add more than two vectors if they are in same order, right? Now check one thing. Let us consider this is one vector. Let us consider this is your one vector. And another vector is this is another vector. This is another vector. और एक वेक्टर कंसीडर करो. Clear? Yes. This is one vector. ये एक कंसीडर करो. This is one vector. And that this one is another vector. Ready? This is a vector. This is suppose b vector, b vector, b vector. And we have to add all these vectors. That is more than two vectors are there. देखो केमती add करा. So first a vector को हम parallel shift करी परिबा. Parallel shift कली. Then b vector को parallel shift करीबी. b vector को parallel shift करी क्या लगे. देखो. Now c vector को हम parallel shift करी सॉरी. b vector को हम parallel shift करीबी. After parallel shifting, yes. Then c vector को हम parallel shift करीबा. Oh sorry. ए वेक्टर को पैरेलल शिफ्ट कले नेक्स्ट कौन करिबा बी वेक्टर को पैरेलल शिफ्ट करिबा नेक्स्ट हमें कौन करिबा C वेक्टर को पैरेलल शिफ्ट कली देखा गला नेक्स्ट कौन करिवा मोर D वेक्टर को हम पैरेलल शिफ्ट कर देख पाइलो कारण हम लॉ कौन कहि छी polygon vector addition we can add more than two vectors simultaneously if they are in same order हम पैरेलल शिफ्ट करके आनी कौन कली मैं अरेंज कर देली all the vectors are in now same order A vector B vector C vector D vector and जना पड़ जेटा गोटे polygon रो साइड भला देखा जाଉଛି all the vectors are representing sides of an open polygon then the closing side of polygon taken in opposite order it is closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector r vector. Is that clear to all of you? This is your triangle law of vectorization. This is your triangle law of vectorization. केमती होची देखिबा just you see the figure वर्तमान फिगर को मैं एक्सप्लेन कर क्लियर देखो perfect so let's remove this one हमें जानने which one is our r vector we don't know let's see this a vector and b vector they are in same order then the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector so this is our a vector plus b vector now figure a vector and b vector individual already a vector plus b vector now this a vector plus b vector and c vector they are in same order then the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector so it a car value this black color vector represents a vector plus b vector plus c vector very good now figure achhi ki this black color vector and green color vector these are two sides of a triangle taken in opposite sorry same order then the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector this is your r vector and r vector is co-vector addition this black color vector and d vector a vector plus b vector plus c vector plus d vector I think this part is very clear to all of you in this way we can explain the polygon law of vector addition I कौन लिखिबा if two vectors are sorry if vectors more than two vectors polygon law vector addition ना एटा फोकस करिबा if a number of vectors are acting at a point simultaneously number more than two vector होजना एठी if number of एमती open side of polygon को represent करछि सेठी so if number of vectors are represented by the sides of an open polygon taken in same order then closing side of the polygon represents their resultant vector so can you write the statement it कौन देखा वाला number of vectors so in statement what we have to write in statement can represent if a number of vectors acting at a point simultaneously acting a point simultaneously can be represented by sides of a polygon that polygon is open sides of an open polygon it erase कर दो बेटा को yes sides of an open polygon in magnitude and direction in magnitude and direction taken in same order taken in same order then closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector. Then closing side of polygon, taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector. Both in magnitude and direction. This is about your polygon law of vector addition. I think this is clear to all of you. So what is the meaning of polygon law of vector addition? We have already discussed it in very detailed manner. Clear? So one more thing I want to express. If three vectors are in same order, as shown in the figure, now see. Focus upon the diagram. Let us think this is your one vector. This is another vector. And this is another vector. This is your A vector, this is B vector, this is C vector. So what is the value of A vector plus B vector plus C vector? These three vectors are in same order. Clear? So केमती जानिबा? अच्छा, A vector and B vector, they are in same order. So we know the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector. Third side of the triangle taken in opposite order gives their resultant vector. So this green color vector represents A vector plus B vector. But the vector which represents A vector plus B vector, the green color vector, that is simply opposite to C vector. Magnitude same to same, opposite to C vector. So we can write it as minus C vector. Na? So instead of this A vector plus B vector, we can write minus C vector plus. That is your 0. So practically this is 0 vector, null vector hobo, magnitude no 0 lekha. So mone rakho, if three vectors are in same order and if their resultant is 0, then they must be coplanar. Yes. So note point is, if three vectors whose resultant is 0 are in same order, then they must be coplanar. The question asila, if vectors are not coplanar, non-coplanar, okay? If vectors are non-coplanar, then what are the minimum number of vectors for which the resultant must be 0? Question कौन कहली? देखो, this is one of our note point mention है गला. Our question is, if vectors are non-coplanar and their resultant if vectors are non-coplanar, find the minimum number of vectors. Find the minimum number of vectors for which their resultant is 0. Their resultant is 0. So what is the answer? Answer is our. So it will be discussed in resolution method of vector addition. Wait up to that moment. So remember this point. This is very important actually. But if three vectors whose resultant is 0 and they are in same order, that means they must be coplanar. Okay. So this is about our today's lecture. So up to this lecture we have completed the vector addition. Yes. Resolution method बाद में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे. Next we will discuss the subtraction of vectors. Subtraction of vector में कुछ नई चीज नहीं है actually. बस we have to face the question, we have to see the content. Vector addition जिसका हो गया, vector subtraction भी हो जाएगा. Clear? And vector division तो नहीं है. That is not possible. And vector multiplication में we will discuss dot product and cross product. So that's all for today's class. Thank you and have a nice day. Kindly like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.